What's up, E.D.G family? Kevin here, and tonight I'm actually got a game party to get to. I had some friends that checked out some of the Race to the Raft playthroughs, unboxings, whatnot. This was the game they wanted to play tonight. My dilemma was I wanted to kind of bring a snack, and talking to a bunch of people on Discord, that seems to be the thing. Good snacks for game night. So I came up with one, not completely. I do have to give some credit to a specific book. We'll talk about that later. But this is a very thematic snack for a game like Race to the Raft. We have two different seafood dips. One is oyster based, one is salmon based. So darker flavors, lighter, brighter flavors, you know. And so I'm going to show you how to make that today. We are going to head upstairs. We'll get this all thrown together, and I will show you one of the easiest recipes I've ever made to take to your game night, your family night, even just a holiday party. Let's do it, and I'll be right back. All right, so like I said, this is a recipe that you can throw together on the spot. You can prep it in advance, and that's kind of what I'm going to do right now. We're going to prep this in advance. We got a lot of different things, different elements that we can prep, and then this kind of turns into a throw together recipe. So like I said, you can do a lot of it in advance. Really good. I do want to mention this is a recipe completely inspired by this book right here, Project Smoke. This is something you will probably see in some more videos going forward. So if it's something you've seen, a couple recipes that I've done and they're good and you like them, you might check getting out this book because it is a very good book. It is more for like the barbecue enthusiast, but there's some recipes like this one. You don't necessarily have to have a smoker or grill. So we're gonna do that. But to get going on this, we got some smoked flavored salmon. We got some smoked oysters. We're basically gonna do two different dips. We're gonna use the same block of cream cheese for both of them, but we are gonna be doing two different dips. So if you think you like one more than the other, you can easily modify this recipe. The recipe will be in the description. So this cream cheese should be, we'll bring it out of here, but it should be softened quite a bit. I believe that it's softened quite a bit. So that is a good thing. And then we're gonna wanna prep the shallot, the lemon zest, and pretty much our canned seafood. Those are the four things that we really need to prep in advance. So I'm going to do that real quick. We'll get this prepped so we have all the ingredients just kind of ready to go and we can throw this together. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and zest this lemon. And the last thing we're gonna wanna do is we are gonna wanna food process these oysters. You could probably chop them as well if you don't have a food processor. I used it in my test vid and well, it worked out pretty well, I thought. Now, your call on whether you want to leave the chili in or not. I'm going to actually go ahead and pull it because my recipe kind of heats it up in a different way. So I'm going to pull it, but if you want to leave it in there, feel free to leave it in there. The other thing is you're probably going to want to drain a little bit of this oil off. You're not going to want a ton in there. It is going to get thick, so if you do want it to be not quite as thick, you could probably leave a little bit of that in there, or you could just add some lemon to kind of add a little bit more liquid to it. This is where it's gonna get loud. And this is about the consistency that you're gonna want. So go ahead and transfer that into a bowl. And then we are gonna do something similar to the smoked flavored salmon. Also draining any kind of extra oil there is in there. Now, if you were in a pinch, you could probably just flake this by hand, and it would probably be good consistency. But since we got the food processor, I am just gonna give it a quick little hit a couple times, and that should help flake it apart. All right, so now that we got them both pretty much ready to go, all of our ingredients are just ready to start tossing together. So we're gonna go ahead and do this first, and we're gonna start with the oyster dip. I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. We're gonna use half of this block of cream cheese. Now, like I said, you can make this kind of any way you want. If you wanna only make the oyster dip and not the salmon, you could use a full block. You could add another can of oysters to it. You don't even have to do that. If you don't like quite as much oyster flavor, you could just use one can and it would just be a lighter flavor. But we're gonna throw this together real fast, mix in our ingredients, then we'll do the other one, and then they will both be pretty much ready to go. So we go ahead and start mixing this in together and kind of work that oyster into the cream cheese. These are the two biggest bases as far as this dip goes, so you're definitely going to want to give it a good mixing. I've tried this with the food processor, and to be honest, I think it's just easier to mix this by hand. All right, so now that we got that mixed in, we can start adding our other ingredients to this. We're gonna want to add about half a teaspoon of this lemon zest. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of shallot. And then we're gonna use about half of a lemon. Half lemon juice. And then we're going to want to give that a good mix together. Now this would be a very good point for you to taste what the mixture really is doing for you, whether it's, got some spice to it, whether it's too smoky, and then make adjustments. I mean, you still have another half a block of cream cheese. You tasted it and was like, that's a little bit too much oyster for me, go ahead and use that. To me, I need a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna add about a 1/4 teaspoon of this Jacobsen black garlic salt. Now the absolute very last ingredient you're gonna wanna add, and this is also a preference thing, you can add as much of this. I'm gonna go with 2 teaspoons of this Korean chili paste, and I think this just really offsets that oyster quite a bit. I would recommend doing this way. If you, it's not necessarily spicy. It just kind of adds a little bit of a different flavor as well. And then we're gonna give this a good mixture. I'm gonna tell you, while we make the other one, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the fridge, give it a chill. A lot of these flavors will definitely change the longer they sit, and they kind of meld together. So there's nothing wrong with letting this rest for a minute, letting it chill while we work on that second seafood dip. All right, so very similar to the other dip, we are gonna go ahead and start adding some cream cheese to this. All right, so now very similar to the last recipe we did, we are gonna add some lemon zest, we are gonna add some lemon, we're gonna add some shallot, and then from there it's gonna go a little different, so stick with me. We're gonna add half a teaspoon of lemon zest. We're gonna add the other half of the lemon and juice. We're gonna add 2 more teaspoons of shallot. And then we're gonna use half a teaspoon of prepared horseradish. Give it a kick, a little bit of kick. And we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of some Old Bay seasoning. All right, so this is probably when you're gonna probably want to taste this, because we're gonna want to know if we want to add a little horseradish, whether we need to add a little bit more Old Bay seasoning. Your preference at this point, but I'm gonna taste it and see exactly where this is at. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I got a little bit of everything. It's got the horseradish very much at the end of it. You know, if anything, I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt to mine. I got the Old Bay seasoning, but it didn't quite add as much salt as I wanted to. I didn't want to go heavy on it, so we're gonna go ahead and mix that in, and then we'll chill both of these, and then we'll get them prepped for the game night. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a quick taste as well. I do think there's something missing, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. We're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of some red pepper, and we'll mix that in. All right, well, I hope you guys are enjoying this first food video on the channel. I will say we're doing new things this year, new locations, new places, new content. Still talking some board games. I'm excited to get this to the table tonight. Like I said, fantastic game. Really, really like it. Great for new gamers, great for couples, great for just a family game night. So we have this dip. I'm gonna taste it. I'll let you know what I think about it. And I'm gonna start with the lighter and the brighter of the two. This salmon seafood dip. Like I said, all the directions should be in the description below, so definitely check those out. Let me know what you think as far as what these flavors do for you, and you know, any kind of different things you did to yours that maybe made it a little better for you. So I think the first thing I do want to say, very, very bright flavor with that lemon. Lemon zest, lemon juices, fantastic. I get some Old Bay, get that seasoning in there. The salmon's just so light. It's great. It has flavor. It's not overpowering. And the cream cheese mesh really well together. And I will say the other thing is the horseradish. I could probably kick it up a little bit more for me, but I will say it is there. I can taste it. It has a great flavor. Very good. This is something my daughter would like. My wife likes quite a bit. Let's check out the oyster one, though. Check out the oyster one. A lot more bold flavors going on with this one. Definitely got some heat. I will tell you. I added that pinch. It's about a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper at the end. I don't really know if it needed it. It had quite a bit of flavor. I think the chili pepper that was in with the oysters, you know, it marinated that flavor in there. So there was already quite a bit of heat on there. So definitely always taste this, as with anything, as you're making it. You do you. You do you. Some cake. Yeah, so the first thing I will say about this one, heavy oyster flavor, heavy smokiness, very much so. We could have probably added a little bit of smoke to this, and I will talk about that in probably a cold smoking video later on. Something I definitely want to talk about. Cream cheese is something I occasionally like to cold smoke to bring some more flavor to it. But heat, we got some heat. Definitely that chili, definitely that red pepper is, like I said, very, very bold. If you like a little bit of spice, this one is the one you're gonna like. If you want something a little light, a little fluffy, this is definitely the one. But game night's not just complete with a decent little snack recipe. Sometimes you might need to bring a drink with you. You might need to bring something to the host and say, hey, I'm bringing this over. Share. So some different things that you could probably bring with this. If you're doing a family friendly game night, I would probably go with just some fresh lemonade. I think that would really, really work well with these. I don't have fresh lemonade on hand. I use my only lemon for this recipe, but I will say there's not too much lemon in this, and it would definitely just kind of bring those flavors out a little bit better. I think some lemonade, especially for the kids, would work out. But if you're going to a couples game night, I will say my personal recommendation is going to be a light white wine. This is a Riesling. I really enjoy Rieslings. This is definitely something I would do more for a couples night if, you know, they're more into the wine scene. I do. I drink a little bit of wine here and there, but I will say this would be my pick. Light. Not gonna overpower this. Definitely don't want like a red wine or anything like that with this. This definitely not gonna overpower anything. Gonna be very refreshing, especially with this one. But it would be a really good offset as well for the Oyster one. Another thing I would highly recommend for both of these is just a very well-rounded Scotch. You know, very well-rounded Scotch. I'm a huge fan of Glenfiddich. This is me and one of my boys' favorite Scotches to drink. I don't even know how much is left in this bottle, but when it is empty, I will buy a new one, and it'll sit, and we'll sip, and we'll sit, and we'll sip. And the other thing, I don't know why I left this all the way over here. Not necessarily a coffee, but a stout. A stout would go great with this. I'm going to tell you right now. Probably better for the heat one, but if you get a lighter stout, you just don't want to overpower the flavors. It could definitely overtake this. This is a very fresh snack. You definitely don't want to do that. Hopefully it'll help, you know, draw some cats out, you know, help you save some cats in this game. But I gotta say, you want to see more food content, definitely let me know. I have some ideas, but the best place for you to bring your ideas is going to be on the Discord. So join the Discord. Let's talk some recipes. What you would like to see. Probably going to eventually do some, you know, heavier, more entree, take to game night, get a meal in, then get your gaming on. Got some breakfast stuff in the works as well. But I wanted to start here. I wanted to make good on getting some new content to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, let me know what you think of this dip. Which one you prefer? There's a lot of different ways to do this. I will link all that stuff in the description, but I gotta be off. I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna tell you right now, I got a race to play Race to the Raft. So I am gonna check out. I will see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Much love.